She's still up there shining a flashlight now.
We've just been woken up with a loud bang.
Oh, bro, it's moving. It's moving. What the f is that? Oh, dude.
Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Tonight, we're diving into the 6 most disturbing camping encounters ever recorded. These clips will make you think twice about ever stepping into the woods alone again. Let's delve straight into this first disturbing encounter. This first clip takes us to the Philippines, where a peaceful camping holiday in a stunning, serene location suddenly took a turn for the worse. It's September 10th, 2022. A family arrived at this beautiful campsite, looking forward to a relaxing getaway. Everything seemed perfect as they enjoyed their time together, soaking in the tranquility of nature. But their peaceful retreat was abruptly disrupted when a man, claiming to be an employee of the campsite, confronted one of them. What started as a simple exchange of words quickly spiraled out of control.
Hindi ko na po kami ito sa bundok? Hindi, mali. Paano pong mali? Nagbumura kayo. Sino mo binumura ko? Putang ina, sino ba mga mamura nito? Ay, yung bundok.
Ay, kuya, ba't nananakit kayo? Bakit po kayo nananakit?
Bakit kayo nagbumura dito? Tanggalin mo yan.
At first, everyone was stunned by the man's sudden and aggressive behavior towards the woman. There was a moment of shock and hesitation, and no one seemed ready to confront him. But as the woman herself began to process what had just happened, she quickly decided to take matters into her own hands.
Shit, Jay!
Bakit ganun, kuya? Sinipak niya si ano? Kuya, ganyan po talaga ginagawa nila pag nagkakampi, naglalabas sila ng sama ng loob. Sige, kuya!
The woman retaliated against the man, and the video abruptly cut off. However, according to witnesses, bystanders were able to intervene and de-escalate the situation before things got out of hand. What was once a peaceful, relaxing holiday turned into chaos in the blink of an eye. The family, understandably shaken, left the campsite soon after the incident. They accused the man of assault, though it remains unclear whether he faced any consequences for his actions. One thing is certain, this traumatic experience left a lasting impact, especially on the woman who was at the center of it all. The shock and emotional toll of the event will stay with them for a long time. Already feeling uneasy? Hold on tight, because this is just the beginning. Let's dive straight into the next chilling camping encounter, where it's not people that turn the trip into a nightmare, but the unexplainable. Quick interruption. If you're enjoying this video, why not hit that subscribe button? We're on a mission to hit 150,000 subscribers, and when we do, 3 lucky fans will win a free item of their choice from our merch store. Right now, 73.6% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. It's completely free, and your support helps us make even more awesome videos. So, don't miss out. Subscribe, and let's get back to the video. Meet Casey Nolan, the creator behind the popular YouTube channel Mindseed TV, a channel which you may already know for uncovering the world's most inexplicable mysteries. From several paranormal encounters to bizarre UFO sightings, Casey strives to document the unexplainable and share it with his many viewers. This clip takes us to a remote cabin in Colorado, a place surrounded by chilling rumors from the locals who claim it is haunted by the spirit of a child that once called this place home. Even the woman who owns the house firmly believes in these stories, having experienced unexplainable occurrences herself. Her eerie encounters and the cabin's dark reputation sparked Casey's curiosity, leaving him with no choice but to investigate it firsthand, together with his good friend Colton. It's February 10th, 2022. After an in-depth interview with the homeowner, where she recounted her disturbing experiences, Casey and Colton received permission to spend the night inside the apparently haunted cabin. As the sun sets and temperatures drop, they make their way through the snowy wilderness, finally arriving at the secluded house. With cameras rolling, they begin their usual walkthrough, unaware of what the night has in store for them.
Can you hold this for a sec? I got the key, I think. Oh, that's good.
What?
Might be like an automatic heater or something, like a time heater. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Cool looking place. This looks like
What the fuck?
this looks like dog nose. You know how it drips down? You know what I'm talking about? Like when a dog sticks their nose constantly.
That absolutely does not look like that. It looks like fingers.
They're on the inside. That's not on the outside. That's on the inside, I believe.
What?
Weird.
That is weird.
Let's see what we got upstairs.
As they explore the house, they can't help but notice how deceptively normal it looks. The interior is well kept, and, at first glance, nothing seems particularly eerie. But despite its welcoming appearance, there's an unsettling atmosphere creeping in, a feeling they can't quite shake. Maybe it's the chilling backstory lingering in their minds, or maybe it's something else entirely. Either way, an unshakable sense of unease settles over them. Trying their best to ignore the discomfort, they continue their walkthrough and make their way upstairs.
Once we got to the cabin, we did the initial walkthrough. We used the regular testing, EMF detector. We did the Ovilus walkthrough.
Hello, hello. Is there anybody present that would like to come communicate with me and Colt? We hear from the lady that lives here you like to visit often. And if that's true, are you here right now? What's this?
I didn't see that.
Oh, okay, it's just like an AC duct and shit.
After thoroughly exploring each room, it seemed like there wasn't much happening inside the cabin. But knowing the eerie backstory, that a little boy who once lived here had supposedly drowned in the creek nearby, Casey and Colton grabbed their equipment and stepped outside into the freezing night, making their way toward the creek. If there was any place where they might capture something unexplainable, this was it.
Ooh.
Hey. Real quick. No bullshit.
Whoa.
Do these look like adult footprints or
No.
those look like kids, right?
When we approached the bridge, we looked down and there was these single file, like small footprints, definitely smaller than ours.
Here, wait, check this out. Hold on. I just want to do this for the viewer's sake. Here, look. This is the size of one of my footprints. That's an adult footprint. Those are tiny, huh?
Yeah.
Small child shoes, something just like sprinted across the bridge.
Still see the impression of the foot. Look at them, like they ran
Yeah.
across it.
I'm just thinking to myself, can you imagine falling through this? And then
Right now by yourself.
I'm just saying, like, going right through the ice and not being able to find your way up, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Look at this shit, man. It's pretty deep, too. It didn't look like it was this deep when we were walking up.
Yeah.
Check this out. Let me get tight on that.
Something tried to run across.
You can see a little, like the little hand. Look,
What?
It's like a little, that looks like a hand, but I know it's like probably animal paws because there's 4 of them here. Look.
Yeah.
Hey, there's no more footprints.
Huh?
There's no more footprints. They stopped. They didn't even get all the way. They got like right here on the other side of the creek. But look at the bridge.
Yeah.
They stopped, and there's none around here. That's wild.
That's a trip.
That is a fucking trip. I would say, yeah, let's just follow them, but there's
Yeah,
nowhere to
they're
go.
As they stood by the creek, the atmosphere grew heavier, wrapping around them like an invisible force. The unsettling vibe only intensified when they noticed something chilling: small, childlike footprints in the snow. But what truly disturbed them was that the tracks abruptly stopped, as if whatever had left them had simply vanished. Everything in their gut told them something was off. Maybe the stories were true. Maybe this place really was haunted. But just as they were trying to make sense of the eerie situation, another realization hit them hard. The paranormal wasn't the only thing they needed to be worried about.
I think this is still a creek right here.
Oh, I know it is.
Piled up because you got this other side. All right, so listen, I know I say this every time we're outside somewhere.
Yeah.
We need to be careful with bears out here, for real.
Oh no, big time. And you know what?
Huh?
This is that time of the year where it was a little bit warm for a second, and then it got ice cold again. So the only thing that's waking up are the badasses,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the dudes that are starving, and right now they will
Oh, they will fuck
they
you
will
up,
fuck
yeah.
us up, big time. What is that?
There's some big prints over there. See that?
Yeah,
Over there?
I sure do.
Are those human or not? Yeah, hey, those aren't shoe prints. Those are massively large paw prints.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No, thank you. Is there a reason that you won't leave this place? Is there something you'd like to tell anybody? Sometimes it'll say things that are just random, off the wall, and then there's other times that it'll take the energy around it and use those frequencies to channel words through it.
What did it say?
It said yank in.
Oh my god.
Yank in.
The obulus said, yanked in.
Were you yanked in? That's, dude, all the hairs are standing up on my body right now. Major goosebumps, bro. Every hair on my body stood up because we know a kid drowned here, and it was one of two things. It was either saying that the kid felt like he was yanked in by something, or that maybe something wanted to yank one of us in. Ugh. Yanked in.
Besides these two words that eerily fitted the story of this place, Casey and Colton didn't get any other things out of the device. So, after a while, trying to communicate more without any success, they decided to head inside and continue their investigation there. Inside, they asked more questions, but without good responses. Only the words, "Mom, I'm scared," came through, distant and unclear. So, after multiple failed attempts to make further contact, Casey and Colton decided to get some rest. Since the owner of the house mentioned that the strangest things tend to happen when trying to sleep, they figured this might be their last chance to experience something. And indeed, that was when things started to get truly unexplainable.
We were both pretty tired, so we just decided to turn in for the night. But within 15 minutes of laying down, we both heard something very, very weird. You hear that?
Yeah.
Sounds like a song. That's fucking weird, bro. That's weird, dude. We should get the flashlight. That's weird.
First, it sounded like a little kid's voice, but then it kind of sounded a little bit melodic, like someone was outside singing.
Do you hear that?
Yeah. Me and Casey sat up at the exact same time, and we looked at each other almost to like confirm that we both just heard what we thought we heard.
Do you hear that?
Yeah. We hear something that sounds like singing, and you could tell it was coming from outside.
Sounds like a song. That's fucking weird, bro.
Totally unsettled and confused by the singing, they did not wait any longer and got out of bed immediately, hoping they could catch the singing sound louder on their footage from outside. But as they headed downstairs, something else also caught their attention.
That's fucking creepy, bro.
When I sat down on the couch to put my shoes on, right next to me was that window that we saw when we first came in the cabin, but there was something different on it. There was something that I know for a fact was not there when we arrived at the cabin.
Hey, what is this?
That's the dog you swears about.
No, bro.
Casey goes, look. And he said, look at all these markings. And earlier we had seen something that looked like dragging or like maybe a dog's nose or something moving up and down on it. So I kind of like brushed it off real quick. And then he said, no, there's handprints. And we looked and they were on the outside of the glass.
Dude, look at this. Come here real quick. That's outside the fucking window. Look. Look right here. This.
I see it.
These handprints were half the size of mine, half the size of Colton's, so...
Is there any more? Oh, bro.
Dude, they're all over the place.
It's just...
Yeah. This whole bottom.
Oh, dude, that's fucking crazy.
What the fuck? These handprints were super small. Like if I had to guess, they're from like a 5 or 6 year old.
Cut the light on for a second so we get dressed.
These handprints gave them chills all over their bodies, and the fact that they were so small, like children's hands, only added to the eerie story about this place, just like the small footprints they had seen earlier. The tension in the air was almost suffocating. But then, as if the sudden activities weren't already eerie enough, something happened that made this long trip to investigate this cabin totally worth it.
I hope the static camera heard that.
Dude. I mean, I hope it did too.
I mean, I know those mics are not the best, but that was pretty
I
cool to
want to
me.
know what's going on with this.
Yeah.
Like, is someone fucking with us?
Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell is that?
It's fucking cold, bro.
Hey, cut the light.
I swear I saw something move outside, and when I asked Colton to turn off the lights, I was not prepared for what we both saw.
Cut the light.
Dude, I swear to God, I just saw something run past, like, outside. Something moved. What is that? Do you see that right there?
Dude.
What is that?
I don't
Oh,
know.
bro,
Just
it's
shut-
moving. It's moving. What the fuck is that?
Oh my God.
Dude. What the fuck, bro?
I thought that was a shadow.
Bro. It like disappeared.
Dude, I'm feeling all types of weird right now, dude.
You gotta understand, there's no lights out there. The only thing that we can see is the moonlight that's reflecting off of the snow outside. And right in the middle of the bridge, we both see what looks like a almost transparent black figure of some sort, just standing in the middle of the bridge.
Dude, I swear to God, I just saw something run past, like outside. Something moved. What is that? Do you see that right there?
Dude.
What is that? There's just a figure, just staring at us. It looked like it was facing us from on top of the bridge, not moving, standing still. Do you see that right there?
Dude.
What is that?
We don't know what's showing up on the camera, his cell phone camera at all. We're just fixated on it. And then it turns around and it bolts.
Dude.
What is that?
Oh,
bro, it's moving. It's moving. What the fuck is that?
Oh, my God.
Dude.
When it ran, it looked more unnatural than I've seen anything move.
Dude, I swear to God, I just saw something run past, like outside. Something moved. What is that? Do you see that right there?
Dude.
What is that?
Bro,
it's moving. It's moving. What the fuck is that?
Oh, my God.
Dude. It almost felt like it was made out of smoke. That's what it looked like to me. And when it turned and ran away, it just like vanished. It like disappeared.
Dude, I'm feeling all types of weird right now, dude.
Casey and Colton couldn't believe their eyes. They had just clearly witnessed a shadowy figure standing totally still and then bolting away into the dense forest. Their hearts raced as they tried to process what had just happened, and their minds were blown, trying to make sense of what they had just seen. Totally shocked, the first thing they wanted to know was if their camera had picked it up, so they immediately checked their footage.
Look at that, bro. Right there. Look at the way it just
And it
dips.
just fucking dips.
It dips like full speed. We're both standing there in the living room looking back at the footage that we just captured. We're watching it literally seconds after we captured it.
The crazy part is when it goes sideways.
I'm fucking nervous as hell and I'm freaked out, bro, but I think that we should go out with something.
We gotta give it a minute, man. That was a lot.
Let's give it a minute and go check it out. I think we should run yes, no or something out there.
Yeah, let's give it a minute.
That could have been a person.
No.
It moved too fast. It disappeared.
It didn't look tall enough to be a person.
No.
Gathering their courage, Casey and Colton went outside. The cold air hit them as they stepped into the dark night, the silence of the forest almost suffocating. They had come here to investigate the spirit that was said to haunt this place, and despite the eerie events that had already unfolded, they couldn't resist. They had no other choice than to try anything they could to get to the bottom of this shadowy figure.
Hello? Hang on, stay still. Hello? Hang on. Was that you? Was that you? Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm like high alert right now. Alright. Let's put the yes no here and we could just ask some questions from this side of the bridge. I feel like we're safer on this side for some reason, you know?
So as our final test, we took the yes no prism out to the bridge, where not an hour before we saw something that had sprinted across the opposite side, and neither one of us were comfortable enough to actually like walk across it, because we felt like whatever it was either not allowed to or not able to cross to our side. So we decided to just play it safe and leave it right there in the snow.
I'm so paranoid out here right now.
I don't know if it was like snow falling off a tree or...
You heard like a little rustle, right?
Yeah, something.
Can you come close to this device? Yes. Pretty fucking clear to me, huh?
Yeah. Why did you bring us to this bridge? Did something happen to you over here?
Is there something you want us to see out here? Were you just...
What do I on that path?
What's up?
Thought I just saw something standing back there and it moved.
The whole night, they hadn't been able to get clear contact with any device they tried. But now, after the singing and seeing the eerie figure, it seemed that they'd finally managed to get answers from whatever was lurking here.
I'm not going over this bridge tonight. I can tell you that right now.
Oh,
Yes?
no, we're not. I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable out
I
here
don't
right now at
feel
all.
comfortable either.
No. Yes, come over the bridge. Kiss my ass.
Yeah. How about you come over this side of the bridge? I don't know if that's a good thing.
Why don't you come stand right here at the
Hang
end of
on,
the bridge?
I don't know if that's a good thing.
What?
Inviting whatever that was to this side.
We gotta...
Was that you singing while we were trying to go to bed? Did you touch the glass windows outside of the cabin? Do you like looking inside that cabin at night?
After getting some really clear answers to their questions, the communication suddenly stopped. Casey and Colton went on for more than half an hour, asking several things, but without any success. The sun started to rise, and with that, their investigation ended. They had experienced a night they would never forget, one that would stay with them for years to come. The unexplainable events they encountered made every second of their work worth it. It was the kind of breakthrough that every paranormal investigator dreams of. Satisfied but also overwhelmed by what they had experienced, Casey and Colton packed up their equipment, feeling both the exhaustion and adrenaline of the night's events. The mystery of the haunted cabin was no longer just a story. It was a reality they had lived through. They had captured something real, something that validated all the strange occurrences the locals had spoken about. As they drove away, the weight of the experience settled in. Despite the exhaustion, they both felt a strange sense of peace, knowing that they had uncovered the truth of the place. It had been a terrifying and life-changing investigation, and as the daylight broke, they knew they'd be talking about it for a long time. The cabin's secrets were no longer hidden, and the spirit of the child that once haunted its halls had been heard in the most haunting way possible. Now brace yourself for what's coming next. Luckily, Casey and Colton were together, but how would you feel if you were camping alone and strange things started happening? This is Phil, a nature enthusiast who finds his greatest joy in exploring the wilderness, particularly through hiking and everything that comes with it. He shares his passion on his YouTube channel, Hike Slam, where he also provides tips, tricks, and gear recommendations in hopes of inspiring others to venture into the great outdoors. In this video, Phil takes us along on a hike and camp adventure deep in the forests of Virginia. He was excited and fully prepared for his trip, but what started as a peaceful getaway quickly took a disturbing and unexpected turn. It's November 24th, 2021. The sun is shining, the crisp autumn air fills the woods, and Phil eagerly sets out on his journey. His plan is simple: hike deep into the forest and stay overnight at one of the trail shelters, where he can cook his food over a cozy fire and enjoy the solitude of nature. Phil is in good spirits, soaking in the beauty of his surroundings, and everything seems to be going perfectly, until he notices something that immediately catches his attention, something that makes him stop in his tracks.
So the hike's been awesome so far. I mean, I've only been out for about half hour. River behind me, really pretty day. As I was walking up, I saw some trash in the trail, and I came across this. So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics. Other weird things. Well, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day. Well, let's keep going. I'm about halfway to the campsite, and I just entered the wilderness. Sun is just starting to fall behind the hills. So pretty shortly, I'll be at the shelter in the campsite.
Phil found the writing odd, almost nonsensical, but he brushed it off, convincing himself it was nothing more than random scribbles. He continued on his path, focused on reaching the shelter where he planned to set up camp for the night. And slowly, the strange writing faded from his mind as he immersed himself again in the peaceful surroundings of the forest. But then, just as he thought nothing of it anymore, he stumbled upon more, seemingly the same handwriting again.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kind of creepy. There's a fire down there. Okay. I'm almost at the shelter, which was going to be my camp spot for the night. That scene back there really freaked me out though. The sun's going down. I'm going to get to the shelter, reassess the situation, and see what I think about this whole deal. I'm a little out of breath because I'm trying to put as much distance between me and that sketchy camp spot back there as fast as possible. So, okay, I'm gonna press onto the shelter and then reassess. Okay, well that was really weird. So, as I was hiking toward the shelter, still considering what I was gonna do for the night, these two women were hiking in the opposite direction. They had a little dog with them. They asked if I had seen the guy who was leaving the notes. I said he has a campsite down by the river because I could hear the fire going. I could see where his tarp was set up. He was actually just sitting on a rock down there. They were shocked I was still considering camping out there, but I decided that I didn't really feel like it, and plus they said that they were kind of freaked out and asked if I would go with them and walk past his campsite so they could get back to their car. So I did, and then when I got back to my truck, I went over to the other side of the road, drove up like a Forest Service road, and I'm actually on the Appalachian Trail, just going the opposite direction. So instead of going instead of going south, now I'm going north. But I'm just gonna find the closest camp spot to where I'm at because the sun is going down, and set up camp and, yeah, settle in for the night.
Feeling relieved to have distanced himself from the unsettling writings, Phil pushed forward, hoping the rest of his trip would be peaceful. The forest was quiet, the air crisp, and he managed to shake off the unease that had crept into his mind.
So I came across this fire ring, so Might end up just camping right here. There's a flattish spot. The creek is right there. So this could be a really good place to camp. I'm just gonna go up to the shelter, see what's going on up there. All right, there's the sign for the shelter. And you can see it. You can see it down there, right through the trees. Doesn't look like anyone's there. I'm gonna go down and check it out. All right, approaching the shelter here. There's definitely nobody here. Looks like there's a knit cap there. Pretty clean. Shelter log. Pretty cool fire area there. It's set up kind of like a fireplace, angled toward the shelter for heat, which is pretty neat. I'll have a fire in there in a little bit. Well, I still have a little bit of light. I'm going to set up my tent. I don't want to sleep in the shelter. Shelters can sometimes have a lot of spiders, mice, rats, that kind of thing. They'll chew through your gear or eat your food or whatever. So I think I'm just going to find a nice camp spot, maybe back behind the shelter, set up my tent, find some firewood, and then probably have some dinner.
As Phil sat by the fire, listening to the quiet sounds of the forest, he was happy to feel at ease. The crackling flames provided a sense of comfort, and for a while, he allowed himself to enjoy the peaceful solitude. But no matter how much he tried to push it aside, the strange writing he had seen earlier lingered in the back of his mind.
What a crazy day. Oh my gosh. So I had the one campsite in mind, the Mats Creek shelter, and based on the crazy notes I saw and the dead animals and, I don't know, running into those women on the trail who were scared. I'm glad I made the decision not to camp down there, because I would have just been freaked out the whole time. This is only about 2 miles from that other campsite, but it's on the other side of the road. Still on the Appalachian Trail, but far enough away that I feel safe, which is good. Fire's throwing off a good amount of heat right now.
After having spent some time sitting by the fire, Phil gets curious about what fun stories have been written in the shelter log of this particular shelter. But that's when the uncomfortable feeling starts to kick in again.
All right, so I'm gonna check out the shelter log here. I hang out by the fire. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log where people write in their trail names and what's going on. They can write whatever they want in there. So it's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. Little engine, back section. Hiking again finally. Great day on the AT. This was in August. Huh. Someone left some PBRs here, I guess. It's nice and little trail magic. Some comics and writing and stuff. Alright, let's see what's happened recently. Holy crap. Wait a second. Hold on, I'm adjust the camera here. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here. Let's see if this makes any sense. Sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm just gonna see what it says. Cleaned the outhouse. Picked up trash. Collected wood for others. See Charlie Daniels' Simple Man lyrics, which I used in 2013 Facebook post. And note the rope I found with the silicone sealant can 2 miles south of that. I left it on a stump. In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail. What the heck?
This made Phil feel the chills all over his body, and his comfortable feeling was shattered in an instant. And again, the writing made almost no sense, jumping from one subject to another in a chaotic, unsettling way. But what disturbed Phil the most was the underlying sense of obsession in the words. as if the writer had been trapped in their own mind, spiraling deeper into madness. Whoever wrote this was clearly not in the right state of mind, and as Phil sat there, gripping the logbook, his thoughts wandered back to the dead duck he had found earlier, surrounded by the same eerie writing.
This is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary. Kind of weird. Those women down there said they were going to call the police on the guy. I know it's really hard to read in this light. Sorry about that. Let me move that there. Wow, this is weird. It's just like it goes in one direction, then immediately goes in a completely different direction. And there's just so much of it. Like this line up here. Think grave robbery in an attempt to obscure the reality of Little Mrs. Wolf. Content. Come up with some more of those wicked schemes, JB and company, so I can show some more of your true character. In the past, the Russian collusion assertion have been followed up on many occasions with the advancement of illusions that would show discord in fiction between the colluding parties. You're falling faster. Obey your master. The Metallica lyrics. What the heck? Okay, that's crazy. Okay. Emergency press conference. So I thought it would be a fun little thing to look at the Johns Hollow shelter log. That's where I'm staying, Johns Hollow shelter. And just check out trail names and what people's experiences were on the trail. And it was fun at first. But man, once I came across that guy's writing, it was so weird. It was like, I felt like I was, I don't know, the plot continues or something. You open it up and it's like, that writing looks familiar. Oh my gosh, it's the same writing as that guy that's 3 miles away that I hiked this far away to get away from the dude. And now, yeah, man, I guess he was just here a few days ago. Ranting, it's like music lyrics and political stuff and, you know, talking about people leaving trash and just weird rants and Bible quotes, and it's just like all over the place. Kind of sketchy, kind of weird. It's just really weird to have that feeling of like relaxation, like I'm away, I'm here, I'm hanging out in the woods by myself. And then to read that, it's just kind of like, oh, that's a little odd.
This unsettling discovery made Phil question whether staying was really a good idea. Every instinct in his body told him to pack up and leave, but with his whole camp already set up and the forest now shrouded in complete darkness, the thought of navigating his way back through the woods seemed just as daunting. So, against his gut feeling, he chose to stay. Still, the unease wasn't easily shaken off. He tried to calm himself, convincing himself that whoever had written those disturbing messages was long gone, that the chances of them still being anywhere near him were low. He was safe, he told himself. But as the night went on, that lingering fear would soon prove to be justified.
I lied down for a couple hours, nodded off to sleep. Just on top of my sleeping bag. But man, every crack and crunch I hear outside of an animal walking by or a branch breaking, I don't know, it's just like, it's freaking me out. So I'm going to try to get some more sleep here. And yeah, hopefully I just kind of pass out. There's really nothing to be worried about. It's just like, it's just a weird night, you know? Okay, I'm out on the trail. It's the middle of the night. I was down in my tent, not asleep, kind of just like lying there staring at the tent walls, listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So at first I had to convince myself it wasn't what I thought I heard, but it definitely was somebody down there. So I didn't even wait to see or go down to see who it was, see if it was like a bunch of teenage girls or something. I don't know. I was just like, I am getting out of here. So I packed up all my stuff and I packed it up very quickly. I don't think I left anything behind, and I just walked past. As I walked past, I did look. It did look like a single guy hanging out in the shelter. He had a headlamp on. All I could really see was the light from the headlamp, so I could have been wrong. But man, it was yeah. So I don't know. I just got out of there, and like that's the thing. It's like it was probably a guy who was out like me, like out and wants to just go camping or spend a night out. Beautiful night. But I wasn't gonna hang around. I don't know. I guess I got scared. But so I decided to pack up all my stuff and hike back. Look back behind me.
Eventually, Phil managed to make his way out of the dark woods safely, but the unsettling events of the night still weighed heavily on his mind. Whether it truly was the strange man behind the eerie writings who had approached the shelter in the middle of the night, or just an unfortunate coincidence, it didn't matter much to Phil anymore. What mattered was that he was out, safe, away from whoever had been lurking nearby. As he finally reached his car and locked the doors behind him, a wave of relief washed over him. But despite the comfort of being back in a familiar, secure space, his mind raced with lingering questions. Only one thing was for sure. This was an adventure that would stay with him for a very long time. Now let's dive into the next clip, where once again, it's people who turn someone's camping trip into a real disaster. Meet Ellie and Graham, who are spending their lives traveling all across the UK together with their beloved dogs. The couple documents their adventures to share them on their YouTube channel named Wizard in the Wild, so that everyone who wants to can enjoy the true beauty of nature together with them. They show the reality of life, and not just the good bits when the sun is shining. Whatever the weather, their motto is to just get out in nature because it's good for the soul. In this particular clip, Ellie and Graham were staying at a nice site near Manchester for the night. Everything seemed fine, and they were having a great time as always, until one of their worst nightmares became reality. It's October 28th, 2022. Ellie and Graham have a long day of driving behind them, and as they reach the town of Altrincham, they decide to stop somewhere for the night. After a quick search on the internet, they find what seems to be the perfect spot to park their camper. At least, that's what they thought. As Ellie and Graham finally fall asleep, something catches their attention.
But about 1 o'clock, Ellie woke up, and I think I heard this as well. There was like thumping music.
Yeah, my best
playing.
description, dum, 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 sort of music, really loud car stereo, which suddenly went off.
But it woke you up, didn't it?
Yeah, and I got up and went to use the bathroom.
Yeah. And while Ellie was in the bathroom, I'm sort of laying there, sort of pretty well asleep really. And suddenly there was this almighty bang. It was chilling. It was horrendous.
It's like the end of the world. It really felt like it, didn't it?
First of all, I thought a tree branch, a big branch, must have fallen on the roof.
Yeah, it was so
And then I
loud.
thought, well, hang on, I deliberately put the van in a position where it wasn't under a tree. So it wasn't that. Anyway, I was getting up and quickly getting dressed. I wanted to get out there and see what had happened.
I was really worried because I didn't know what had happened, and I thought he might get attacked or something. I didn't know. It was really scary, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
just can't believe it. We've just been woken up with a loud bang, and guess you dropped something on the floor there. Or was that glass? 2 bricks. And someone's just smashed Merlin's windows while we were sleeping. So no, we don't recommend this as a place to stop. They smashed the windscreen, but Graham's hoping he can drive with that. But here's us in the middle of nowhere, with a broken window and a cracked windscreen, about 200 miles from home. Just don't know what to do. I'm still in shock, literally.
Ellie and Graham were in complete shock after being woken up by such a loud bang. At first, they thought that a tree might have fallen onto their vehicle, but unfortunately, it turned out to be something far worse. Someone had tried to break into their beloved motorhome. Whether the intruders panicked after realizing the vehicle was occupied or simply did it for an adrenaline rush, the damage was done. The elderly couple and their dogs had just experienced a terrifying moment that they would never forget. Trying their best to fix the broken window with some tape and whatever materials they had on hand, Ellie and Graham also noticed a large dent on the side of their camper van. However, at that moment, their main priority was getting out of there as fast as possible. So, in the middle of the night, they set off in search of a safer place to rest. And eventually, they found another spot. But sleep was impossible. The shock and rush of adrenaline kept them wide awake. Still, the only thing that gave them some relief was knowing that, despite the terrifying encounter, they and their dogs had made it through unharmed. And that was what truly mattered. And with that, let's head into the next clip, where other campers also had to change their plans earlier than expected. This next disturbing clip shows us terrifying footage that has been shot by a trail camera that two wild campers had set up at their camp in Banff National Park, Alberta, Canada. It's June 25th, 2021. The couple had left with their bikes for a nice trip through the area, and, without really thinking about it, they had left their trail camera rolling. It was only when they came back after a beautiful day of biking through the region that they remembered the camera and decided to watch the footage back. And what they had captured was far more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. After seeing this large, hairy, animal-like figure on their footage, the couple was completely in shock. The realization hit them hard. They were standing in the exact same spot where this Bigfoot-like creature had been harassing their tent. Without a second thought, they packed up all their belongings as fast as they could and fled the area, searching for a more populated campsite where they would feel safer. Still shaken by what they had witnessed, the couple decided to share their footage on Facebook. The video quickly gained attention, sparking intense debate among viewers. Some were convinced they had captured real evidence of Bigfoot, while others dismissed it as a hoax. But no matter what others believed, the couple stood firm. Given how remote their campsite was, the idea of someone playing a prank on them seemed impossible. To them, this footage was undeniable proof that the legendary Bigfoot was real. And with that, let's delve into our last disturbing camping encounter. This next clip comes from the YouTube channel The Northwest Wind, where Sam shares his outdoor adventures, from wild camping trips to fishing in serene locations. With a deep passion for nature, he takes his viewers along for the journey, letting them experience the wilderness with him. In this adventure, Sam embarks on a solo stealth camping trip, one that quickly takes an unsettling turn. It's March 20th, 2025. Night has already fallen as Sam makes his way to his chosen camping spot. Though he's excited for the adventure ahead, an uneasy feeling lingers ever since he stepped out of his car. Every passing car and distant sound puts him on edge, though he can't quite explain why. Still, he brushes it off, determined not to let the feeling ruin his plans. But soon, he'll realize that maybe he should have listened to his instincts.
Cop drove by going that way, and then he just drove by again going that way. I don't want to turn this light on and draw more attention, but now I'm nervous that there's all these cars coming and I have this satchel on my back. There's like a huge traffic jam coming on both sides right now. I'm like really bad at stealth camping. I've gotten away with so many. This is stealth camp number 39 already, if you can believe that. So next week will be number 40. Let's go. Okay, no cars coming. Let's go. I'm gonna keep the light off till I get up in there, but let me turn on the red light. Actually, this is too much. Oh, that's too much. Stop. I'm telling the light to stop. Can you guys see me okay? I can't see anything back here. I'm gonna try and go around back.
As Sam moves cautiously, paranoia starts to creep in. He carefully sneaks into the forest, hoping to go unnoticed. For a moment, it seems like everything is fine. He makes his way over a construction area, slipping deeper into the woods without a hitch. But just as he starts to feel a sense of relief, the exact thing he feared most happens.
I can see the main street right there. Cars coming by. Still a decent amount of traffic, but should die down as the night goes on. Cops, 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 cops. I gotta get the out of here. They're parked right there. They're 10 feet away. They're 10 feet away. He stopped right there. I don't want to move. 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 They're stopped right there. He stopped right there. I'm He stopped right there behind the dumpster. He stopped right there. I gotta get out of here. I'm running. I'm getting out of here. I'm running. Oh, my light's on in my hoodie. If they catch me back here, they're gonna arrest me. Get the here.
Sam was already feeling anxious, but this made it so much worse. His heart pounds as panic sets in. If they spot him, he could get into serious trouble, especially since camping in this forest isn't allowed. The thought of being confronted, or even arrested, races through his mind. Without wasting another second, he bolts through the dark, carefully dodging branches and uneven ground, doing everything he can to stay out of sight. Every distant sound makes him more paranoid, heightening his fear that someone might already be onto him. As he runs, he weighs his options. Should he push through and stay the night as planned, or turn back and abandon the idea?
I don't see anything at the moment, but there was definitely 2 cops. One was coming back down as another one was pulling in. I'm in the woods now. Probably 100 yards from the back of the houses. I'm standing behind this tree. I'm gonna stay here for 5 minutes. Catch my breath. Alright, this is a bumbling. Alright, there's those lights again. Son of a, I don't know why I just did that. There's those lights again. Hang on. Okay, jeez. Somebody's still up there. Somebody's still up there shining a flashlight now. Somebody's up there with a flashlight. Uh-oh. Yep, there they are. They're flashing the light back here now, too. Alright, this is... They're shining their light down here. Alright, I'm trapped. If I go back, the houses are right there. I can't go anywhere else. I'm trapped. I might get arrested right now. Alright, let's just... Every step I take. Every step I... Oh, there's one of them. Okay. There's one of them. I'm on the ground.
Sam is so overwhelmed by stress that he makes the tough decision to abandon his plans for the night. Staying here any longer just isn't worth the risk. But getting back to his car unseen is far more difficult than he had hoped. Every path seems risky. Every distant sound makes his heart race. But still, although he is totally devastated and out of breath, Sam pushes forward, determined to make it back to safety without being caught.
I just gotta keep going. Get back to the truck. Okay. This isn't... Okay, what the fuck? Alright. This is not stealth camping. This is some idiot on YouTube. Okay, I'm in another creek now. I'm well off the property. From all the adrenaline and from running, I'm gonna puke. Give me a minute. I want to drink some of my water right now, but I'm afraid if I do, I won't be able to keep it down. My adrenaline is so high, I feel literally nauseous. My feet are soaked up almost to my knees, frozen. I walked through 2 creeks, hiked up and down 2 little Mount Everests, and I still probably have another quarter mile to go through the woods, back up another hill, and I'll be back at the church where I parked my car. All right, let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving. At least I feel like I'm out of danger now.
After a long and exhausting struggle to reach his car, Sam finally makes it back to the safety of his vehicle. His heart is still pounding, but the relief washes over him as he slumps into the driver's seat. He locks the doors, takes a deep breath, and tries to process everything that just happened. As he drives away, the disappointment lingers. This night was supposed to be an exciting adventure, not a nerve-wracking escape. But at the same time, he can't ignore the gratitude he feels for making it out unscathed. This short yet intense experience is one he won't forget anytime soon. It serves as a stark reminder that stealth camping in restricted areas comes with real risks. And sometimes, the best decision is to turn back before things take a turn for the worse. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.